Janet here from the 4-H office. Today, not at a table, not at my desk, well, I'm on the floor because we are going to make some grapevine wreaths, which is a really neat activity that you can do this time of year. All the leaves have fallen off our grapevines. You can find some that are really nice, not green but brown, but not dead. You want them to be fairly flexible so that you can bend them. I have some that we clipped around the parking lot. And what you're going to do is just grab some that are flexible, that you can create a circle, a wreath to make for today. So I have some grapevine here. I'm going to try to get it untangled. And I still have grapes attached. It's up to you if you want to leave the grapes. I do like leaving the little curly Q vines. I think they look really cool when you make a wreath. So I'm going to leave those on my grapevines. I'll clean up later, don't worry. But I am definitely going to make sure that I take the grapes off. So to get started, you want a fairly good, long, thick piece to start wrapping with because that's going to be your framework. You're going to put everything else around it. So when you're getting your grapevine, just try to find something a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger to serve as that framework. Now, wreaths can be any size you want. I'm going to go, because I don't have a ton of grapevine here, with a little bit of a smaller wreath. So what I'm just going to do, this is a little bit too dry, but we're going to make it work. I'm going to bend into a circle, and I'm actually just going to twist. I'm going to wrap the ends around each other, and I'm going to hold them as best I can. And then I'm going to take my smaller branches from my grapevine, and I'm just going to start wrapping around, making sure not to let go because I don't want everything to spring back, hit me in the eye, and then I got to make a pirate patch with you next week. So we're just going to gently weave over and under to hold our grapevine together. If you have grapevine that's a little too brittle, it will snap off. And you don't want that. When you're getting your grapevine, the longer the pieces that you can work with, the nicer it'll look. You won't have all these little ends poking. So try to find something a little bit longer and kind of plan what size you want, what diameter. Diameter is the distance across the width of it. So I'm just going to keep on twisting. I've twisted my ends together. So you can see I have my framework. I do have one end sticking out here. I can either clip that off with a pair of clippers, or I can try working it into the wreath itself. So I also have my little curly cues on that I think give it a lot of character. Now you can go really rustic. You can do just one grapevine, make it a nice thinner one. You can get really creative, make a big thicker one like you would hang on a barn door or something like that. And you're just going to really make sure you keep that round shape. Just give it a little bit of a squeeze occasionally to make sure that you're not going a little square. You've got one side that's a little bit off. And so what you're going to do next is find your next piece of grapevine to wrap around your wreath. Now, also, good opportunity. Learn the difference between poison ivy and grapevine. I made the mistake when I was a little feller. Went up in the hedgerow. It was almost winter time. I want to make Christmas presents for somebody. And I found some vine growing on the trees, and it was really easy to get off. I had these little roots that grew on the tree. Wasn't quite sure what I had. I made them into wreaths. I decorated them, gave them away as Christmas presents. Apparently I had poison ivy. Some people had quite a reaction to it. I was fine. Learning experience. Learn the difference between poison ivy and grapevines. Whoop. This is much better to do outside. You will get a bunch of leaves and or, I want to call it bark. It's not bark. Skin. We'll have grapevine skin all over, plus all my grapes that have fallen off. So I have my next piece. I do have some weeds or something stuck in there, so I'm just going to pull that off, throw that to the side, clean it up a little bit. While you're doing this, get your hot glue gun ready if you want to glue on some ornaments, or if you want to make some bows and ribbons to go on. Make sure that's nice and hot to decorate with. All right, so I'm good to go. What I'm going to do is kind of look at my wreath, find out where I ended my previous grapevine, and start from there so that I have the same thickness, the same width all the way around, so that one part of my grapevine wreath doesn't get bigger than another. If it does, just find some smaller parts and fill in those areas that are looking a little thin. It's all about weaving in and out. I'm just going to wedge my next piece of grapevine into my already woven area. Hopefully do this and not lose my eyes today. You can take the branches off if you want to. The nice thing about these is you can decorate them for any type of holiday or occasion using any sort of ribbon, figurines, bells, pine cones, greenery. And it doesn't cost very much just to go out and grab them off the side of your barn or out of a hedgerow. So I'm going to keep weaving this. I'll come back when I'm a little bit further along and show you what we've got going on. Okay, just to come back and show you, I've added about 2 more pieces. They were fairly large pieces with extra branches that when I started weaving them in, I started the end in, tucked it in nice and tight, started weaving, and as I came to the branches, I grabbed them all together in one bundle and just kept on wrapping them around my wreath. Now if you look, I'm not quite perfectly circular. You can, if you have nice flexible grapevine, actually bend it, shape it a little bit better. You can get it to become more circular, but just a few little wraps around. I have 3 good sized pieces of grapevine wreath. Remember to use the thickest grapevine first as the framework to wrap around, and then wrap big, medium, small, just kind of intersperse them so that you have a nice balanced wreath. If you look here, I really don't have too many thin spots. I've also left little tendrils on to give it a little bit of character. So I'm going to fire up my hot glue gun and I'm going to do some decorating. So this is a great opportunity to be creative, use whatever you have at home and make something really nice and memorable for family members. So for this activity and more great activities, follow Shenango County 4-H on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, both under Shenango County 4-H. Have a wonderful day.